Okay, welcome to the final video. I'm just going to make that a bit smaller, and then I'm just going to click pause there, or stop. Okay, next thing we want to do, make sure your button is wired up. You can see I'm wired up to GPIO 4 here from the top corner. And that's running into my button, and then this is running out into a ground, okay? So what we're going to do is we are going to activate GPIO 4 as an input. To do that, we need to click on more blocks right here. So just click on more blocks, and then we're going to add an extension, and we are going to, I think if you just double click it, there we go, double click. I did that a bit fast actually, sorry. I'm going to click on add an extension, and I double clicked on Pi GPIO, which are the GPIO, or general purpose input output pins, which are basically wired out here from a breakout board from the Raspberry Pi, which is just behind right there. So what we're going to do now is we want to do another flag clicked. So let's click on events. Let's drag a flag clicked one over here, and I'm just going to move this up a bit to give me a little bit more room. I'm going to drag this up just a bit there, and I move this just a tiny bit over. Okay, so what we want, first thing we want to do is we want to set the GPIO 4 to input. So I'm just going to click there. I'm going to move this over a little bit, and I'm just going to click on that and grab here, and I'm going to set it to 4. And I'm just going to, no, I'm going to, once I've got it out here, so I may as well do another one. So, and I'm just going to drag this one out here and click on the little tiny dot there. It's hard to do while I'm holding the camera right there. Okay, and then I'm going to click 4. Okay, and then I can get rid of this guy right here. Okay, so what we want to do now, so the GPIO 4 is high. We want to set it to being the input. So you can see there's the input. Whoops, I still set it at high there. Input right on the bottom. So now the GPIO 4 is set to as an input. Okay, the button is now set as an input. So what we want to do now is we want to click on controls, and we want to scroll down just a bit. Actually, let's grab the forever block first. We're going to drag the forever block out. And now we want an if-else block. So you can see here, and if I just scroll down a little bit, there is the if then else blocks. And I'm going to drag that over and put it inside here and drag this little GPIO 4 out. So basically what this is saying is the GPIO 4 set as an input. If the GPIO 4 is high, which actually it is set to high right now, 3.3 volts, because it has a pull-up resistor in it, then nothing happens. But if the GPIO 4, it goes to low, which is ground, basically when I touch that button, it changes the input to 0 volts, to ground, something will happen. So we want, under this else block here, we want to place something. So let's change the pen size. So when I press that button and it goes to 0 volts here, we want the pen size to change. So to do that, I'm going to click on pen right here, and I'm just going to scroll down to pen size. I think it's right here. And let's pull that out, and let's change the pen size just by 1. Okay, so the whole pull up, pull down resistor thing is a bit complicated, but just understand that when you are pushing this button down here, you are changing this input to 0 volts. And right now it's high, so it's 3.2 volts. So if it's high, nothing happens, which it is right now because the button is not connecting these two wires. If I push the button down, it changes it to 0 volts, and something happens right there. So if and else. Okay, let's try it out. Click on that. Let's click on that. Okay, so I'm just going to push down the button. Nice. You can see every time I press down that button, it changes. Actually, if I hold it down, it really changes the pen size, so it's bigger and bigger and bigger. Pretty cool. Okay, I put a little video below on pull up resistors because it's kind of a complex, a little more complex tutorial, just a video by someone who I thought did a great explanation of it. So you can check that out if you'd like to learn more about how that button is working.